Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Aries North Node. So, if you were born between the dates of August the 20th of 1967 to April the 19th of 1969, or April the 7th of 1986 to December the 2nd of 1987, or December the 26th of 2004, all the way to June the 21st, 2006. Your North Node in astrology is in Aries, and this video is for you. The North Node, it's kind of the roadmap of what your soul is trying to discover in this lifetime. It's kind of who you are here to become at the deepest energetic level. And it's very interesting because right now in the sky, we're actually, the North Node is actually in Aries, meaning all of the babies that are going to be born during this period of time of like a year and a half are going to have an Aries North Node. So if you're watching this video anytime around the years of 2024, maybe entering 2025, that's the energy that we're all into. So you may just relate to this as well. But the goal of the information that I want to share with you is to listen to it, especially if you have the Aries North Node, and just ask yourself how you can start inhabiting that energy in your life. Remember that we all have all of the 12 astrological signs somewhere in our chart, so we can all relate to this information in one way or the other. Now, something very interesting about the Aries North Node, and before I start, I do want to let you know I am talking about a lot of the information in the book inside the book, Astrology for Your Soul. If you don't own this book and you're into astrology, I highly encourage you to read it. It's incredibly insightful and just helpful. I continue to go back to it time after time. And now that I'm reading about, like, in depth about all of the other North Nodes, I am just in awe. About how accurate it is, especially when I see it in other people in my life. So the first thing to know, if your North Node is in Aries, is that your South Node. So the South Node is what you are trying to let go of. These are characteristics, traits, the way you move energetically that is natural to you. The South Node for you, it's in Libra. So think about it this way. Libra is what I'm trying to let go of. Aries is what I'm trying to discover and inhabit. So you will naturally find yourself just very drawn to justice, wanting things to be done the right way. You naturally are very drawn to partnership. You believe that you really want to be in a relationship, or if not partnership, family, community, being with the clan. You like in some way or another being there for others. And when it has to do with others, you're all in, you sacrifice yourself, you work hard, or you don't even see it as a problem to give to others. But when it comes to yourself, it may feel a little bit challenging, where you only feel it's okay to put yourself first if it's also going to benefit others, which is nice. That's why you've already mastered that energy. You know how to do that. But you want to find the balance and go to the other side and see how you can learn to put yourself first as well. So, some of the tendencies to leave behind as an Aries North Node is seeing oneself through other people's eyes. So you don't allow yourself to see yourself for who you are, see your desires, your vision for your life, unless it's through others and how it also affects others or benefits others. This debilitating sense of selflessness. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's just the point. You want to give to others, you want to do for others, even at the cost of yourself. You want to be Mr. or Mrs. Nice. You do care to be that nice person that helps, that contributes, that wants to give. This obsessive attachment to fairness and justice. If something is unjust, it's really going to bother you. Like, you believe in fairness, you believe that things should be done right. In relationships, you probably really believe to some extent in loyalty because that is important to you. Codependence, attachment to external harmony. So remember, I'm talking about the attributes to leave behind, but it's natural for you to be codependent. Maybe even from like your young years, you were codependent with your family members, and then your parents, family members, and eventually your relationships. The moment you started having friendships or a partner, you became naturally codependent, where you feel like I'm only in a state of harmony if everybody or my close people or whatever the case, they are in harmony. So your harmony depends on other people. And tit for tat mentality. You did this to me, I'm going to do it back to you. Why? Because I believe in justice. Now, when you just read that, it doesn't sound necessarily that bad to be somebody that cares, because it's not bad. You care about others. But the thing is that sometimes it goes to an extreme. So you are here in this life to begin to develop independence. You are here in this life to learn to trust your own instincts. If you are with family and you naturally ask everybody, hey, everybody, so um, I want to know what everybody else wants to do so then you can adapt to their plan, when you already had an instinct, I want to go to the movies. You want to trust that. You can let people know, hey guys, I'm going to the movie tonight. So if anybody wants to join, it's okay for you to start taking that leadership role and initiate things instead of waiting for others to give you permission to do that. This is how you're going to claim your freedom in this life. This is what your soul wants. So it's going to feel scary, but it's going to feel also very liberating. Now, you're also here to discover self awareness. You are very good at being aware of the group, but you forget yourself. You forget that you're part of the group. Self awareness is, what do I need? How do I feel? Um, are my needs met before I offer to go help somebody else? So, having that self awareness is a process. This is not something you just decide to do right now. It takes time, but it's something that's going to be very important for you. This is where things like journaling, asking yourself questions, working with a coach or somebody that the whole focus of the session is you and not others is going to be super impactful for you. Trusting your impulses. Courage, constructive interest. This means finding interests that are, once again, your interest and that help benefit your independence. So if I have an interest to start saving money, but nobody in my family saves money, or my partner doesn't even care about saving money, you want to find those things that end up helping you as an individual. And once again, we all know that at the end of the day, when we are doing things for ourselves, it benefits the people that we love. But now the priorities have shifted. And this will not happen just on its own. It will be something that develops slowly throughout your life. Your life will be your own teacher in showing you how you give too much, how you're not tapping into your independence, how you can be more courageous. Your life experiences will be the things that guide you to discover this. You want to find that moderation in giving. So instead of just giving without even thinking if it affects you, you will learn to give and you will learn to stop when it's time to stop and say no. And lastly, self nurturing. You will also learn in this life, and you want to develop this. How do you can you take care of yourself? Sometimes part of that independence is just learning to have boundaries and say no and sleep in and rest or whatever it may be. Sometimes it's simple little things that make a huge difference. Now, something very interesting about Aries North Node people is that you have spent many, many lifetimes, especially obviously in your past lives or maybe in your early childhood, where, well, in this case specifically, in past lives, where you were like the homemaker. You were the one that kept the clan, the family together. You were the one that made sure that everybody was taken care of. You've done it for so many lifetimes that this is the most easy and automatic thing for you to do. Like you just do it. You don't even know why. You may just describe it as it's just my personality. It's just that I'm very caring. Or maybe it even bothers you like that you're like that, but it's part of who you are because you've done it so often. And in those lives, it provided you validation because when you belonged to the group, it meant that you were important. When you gave to the group, that meant that people needed you and you were important. You've dependent on the group for your validation. That's why it's so scary for you to do things on your own now and for you, because there may be just crickets. Like you may just do something for you with zero validation. Like nobody's going to be there to be like, "Yay, you chose to go to the movies instead of like doing what everybody wanted to." No one's going to validate you unless you take the time to celebrate yourself when you are tapping into your independence and you feel good. Like the moment you feel good because you did it, that is when you're going to feel fulfilled. But it's amazing what you've done. Like choosing to devote your life to family and others for so many lifetimes. It's amazing. You've done it. You lived it. You got the experience. Your soul does not want a repeat of the same thing. It's ready for something new. It wants a complete different story. It's like watching the same movie 100 times and it's like, okay, I got it. I know the plot. I know how it ends. I know it all. I want something new. I want something different. And you don't want something that anybody imposes in you. You want to create the script and you want to be the main character in this movie and you just want to live it on your own. And that's actually very powerful. Now, something interesting about the Aries North Node people is that it's very important for you, and I'll read this for you. These people need to be able to do things according to their own impulses without being limited by others. They are the leaders, the innovators, the pioneers. They need a profession that allows them the independence to follow their own instincts. They are successful in professions that require initiative and independent action. Examples are like surgeons, technicians, and entrepreneurs, just doing things that you are the one that initiates. Or you have the idea and other people make it happen, but it was your idea. It is very important to find that if you have an Aries North Node and you feel incredibly angry, because one of the shadows of why Aries North Node people are afraid to tap into their North Node is because one of the shadows of Aries is when Aries feels disappointed, it gets angry. It doesn't get sad. It doesn't whine. It gets angry. So if you're noticing that you are at a job that just makes you angry to think that you're going into work, it most likely is showing you that you are in a job where you're having to do things for others, where people are imposing the guidelines, the rules, the actions you need to take. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, many people thrive in those types of jobs. It's not for you. You need to find a career that is going to align with your independence and you being the one that initiates. That's why for many of you, starting your own business really works, because then you are the leader and you're going to always thrive in leadership positions, but you yet may not know it. You may still be very afraid and very just wanting everything to be nice. And you would, right before you develop your Aries North Node, you will prefer for people to see you as nice. And you'll be like, oh my God, I feel so fulfilled because everybody's seeing me as nice, instead of people seeing you as a leader. But that's not what you're here for. So deep breath, and you want to find the little actions in your day to day, in your decisions that you're making right now after you watch this video. Is it something that is coming from your desire, your intuition, are you initiating, or are you just following the rules and what everybody is asking you to do? That's something to think about. Another important thing to acknowledge about Aries North Node people is that because for so many lifetimes you gave to others and you existed for others, you don't have much experience with creating your own identity. You don't know how naturally just to be you. That's the challenge with every North Node. It sounds very cute when you read it and you're like, yeah, I want that. But everything that we read of the North Node is the things we don't have naturally. It requires challenge and expansion to be able to tap into it. So if you find yourself very like, if somebody would ask you like, what's your favorite movie, and you're like, oh well, I have many, like me and my family love comedy. No, you want to begin to find what makes you you. You are here to develop your own sense of identity, but because you don't naturally have that, you may feel very lost. So that is something to also pay attention to. It's not bad, it's not something to be scared of. It's an awakening. If you align with what I'm saying, is this is an awakening for you to take that step to develop your own sense of identity. That is going to be the beginning of your journey of you trusting yourself. You need to know who you are to know who you're trusting with initiating that business. If not, you're going to make decisions of what your parents say, what your friends are saying, what the YouTubers are saying, and not you. You want to trust you. That is your journey. Now, another important thing here, I'm just looking at the notes, is that because you've given and given and given, you've become attuned at reading the energy of everybody else. What does everybody need? Because I need to take care of the clan, of the family, of the group. You are hypersensitive. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. Originally, for most people that are trying to develop Aries in their energy, it can be a bad thing because you enter a room, you're feeling everybody in the room and what everybody needs, that you cannot even get in touch with yourself. Or even if you are in touch with yourself, you feel bad. Like, oh, like, but how am I going to make this decision for me if they need something else? And it's so important to learn to assimilate information when you enter a room. Emotions are just information to our nervous system. They're real, they're valid, they're important for us humans. They help us evolve and understand the world. But at a factual way of seeing it is emotions are information for the nervous system. They should not dictate the way that we respond to everything that we do. That's why we develop understanding that information or those emotions, to be able to not allow them to just for us to react to them. Anyway, so when you enter a room, you want to be able to recognize whatever energy is present, whatever information is present, and then take a deep breath and you check in with you. What instinct? Aries is very about instinct. What are the instincts that are coming up? One theme with many Aries North Node people that I know that are older, for example, there's a lot of people that I probably didn't even put here in the dates at the beginning, but that were born in the late 40s, early 50s that have Aries North Node. My mom was born in 1950, so I know people in my life that have this North Node. And what I notice is that for that specific generation, they were told, and we were in the time where you find one partner and you stay with them forever. And if you don't, you are a failure to society because now you're going to be divorced. So what I've noticed with a lot of people that have Aries North Node is that they naturally did this. They abandoned themselves for the family. And it's not bad because we know it does make for a very devoted family unit when we have a person like that in the family. But then with this, when these people are growing old and they're tapping into their 70s, into, in their 70s, that's where they are right now, they don't know who to be. They don't have anything. And now the family, everybody's older, everybody's married, or they've gone away, or whatever the case. And a lot of anger comes out. Now, all of that disappointment that was never processed, of all the times they abandon themselves for others, all the times they say not to themselves for others, the anger comes out. And now we have somebody that's angry, they're unhappy, they're like life is like what's the purpose? And it's not the case for everybody. This is just one example. You can kind of connect it to other things here. But it doesn't matter how old you are. When you awaken to the realization that your soul is here for independence, you want to own it, you want to trust it, and you want to start making decisions. Aries is all about action. I don't care if you're 70, I don't care if you're 6 or 10. You want to exist and take action. That initiation of action, that um, instinct of this is what I want to do. But what if it doesn't go right? Well, I'll learn from it. It's like it's not negative. It's trusting in that you don't have to live your life codependent to a belief system, to a family unit. You can love your family, you can be there for your family. Codependency is where you don't have your independence in your own family unit. The most beautiful type of harmonious families is where everybody respects the independence of everybody else. Everybody contributes, but not at the cost of anyone in the group. And that is the big lesson for you. Another interesting thing is that even with the codependence, very deep internally, you could possibly have a fear of commitment due to having many, many lifetimes where maybe you did give a lot and it wasn't always reciprocated. Reciprocated? Is that how you say it? It wasn't always given back to you. And you felt this feeling of betrayal from others, like, oh, I give and give, and it's not always given back to me. That now you could possibly fear commitment, but you're still maybe very codependent in the relationship, but within yourself, you're like, I'm not going to give it my all, or I cannot 100% trust this person. If you find that, it once again may come because you're still feeling that the sense of security should come from them. And that should not be the case. The fear of commitment, the real commitment you're making in a relationship, at a job, within yourself, is with you. If you trust yourself and you trust in your own ability to be able to navigate any situation, you can commit fully to a relationship. You can take care of yourself while you're in the relationship. You can love your partner and also offer a lot of things to your partner. And if they don't do their part, or if there is betrayal, you will trust deep within your being that you are able to walk away and continue with your life. That is the switch. Instead of allowing the fear of commitment to paralyze you and either make you never want to commit to anything or commit to things faking it because you're afraid that these people are going to betray you. So it's finding that middle ground when it comes to that. And that's kind of the foundation of everything. At the core, I would say, you know how we hear so many people talk about self-love and the importance of self-love. And the most important thing with Aries North Node is that your way of showing yourself self-love is by trusting in your instinct, trusting your decisions, and looking out for yourself, whatever that looks like. And I hope that this video inspires you to be able to tap into that part of you more and more at whatever level. Remember, discovering and living and inhabiting your North Node is a journey of the whole lifetime. So don't think like, oh, I know what it is now, that's it. No, the lesson, the challenge, when you know, like, am I really aligned with my North Node, is when life happens and you respond differently. It's through actions that you live and inhabit your North Node. Now, if you are an Aries North Node, I would love for you to leave me a comment below and let me know if you relate to any of this information. I would highly encourage you to read this book. It's just so amazing and so helpful. And with that said, that is what I have for you today. I hope all of you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I will see you soon.